Hi, my name's Angela Bettis, and I'm going to expand on the business cycles on our workbook. So, first, the business cycle refers to the natural ups and downs in an economy that happen over time. This shows how an economy grows and slows down and grows again, and how the cycle repeats. There are four main stages, including expansion, peak, contraction slash recession, or trough. I'm going to go through and kind of give you a rundown of what each stage includes. But so first, expansion. This is when the economy is doing well, businesses are growing, people are working, and there are more spending and investment. And then second is peak. This is the highest point of the economy when things are at their best. But it cannot keep growing forever, so it starts to slow down, which leads to contraction slash recession. During this phase, the economy shrinks, businesses make less money, unemployment rises, and people spend less. And then fourth is trough. This is the lowest point of the cycle. It's when the economy hits rock bottom, but it has to recover, and that's when the cycle again starts over. So now we can go on to going over our workbook. So firstly, business cycles. Economies do not always produce the answer to this would be potential output because output is always based off of how the economy is doing at that moment. If they're in recession, the economy is doing worse. Oops, I think I misspelled it. Um, so potential output is always dependent on the business cycle. And then we can go on to go over the factors. So factors of the business cycle are government policies. Governments may increase taxes slash decrease spending depending on the current state of the economy. Consumer spending habits and influences that are constantly changing. Another factor is external events, oil prices, natural disasters, economic events that affect spending. All these would affect the business cycle and would then affect aggregate demand on our graphs. Okay, well, let's go over the overview. So, business cycles have fluctuations of output around the level of potential output. When output is higher than potential output, meaning Y is greater than the output, the economy is in boom. When output is below potential output, the economy is in recession. So, let's go over the graph, our class practice. So, how might an increase in interest rates by the central bank, sorry, affect the cycle? So, let's first fill in the graph. So, it would be supply and demand and equilibrium at LRAS. And then price and output. So, at this equilibrium, we are at, and that's our potential output. That's the max that that would be efficient for our economy. So depending on depending on the question, how might an increase in interest rates by the central bank affect the business cycle? So looking at it, what is being affected is consumers, consumer spending and business investment. So higher interest rates would make borrowing more expensive for both consumers and businesses. So this would lead to a decrease in consumer spending and business investment. So on the graph, this would cause a leftward shift in the AD curve. So let's choose a different color so we can see. Mm, So 81. So this is a decrease, a leftward shift which would decrease the price, and decrease the output being produced. So I hope you guys understand why this would affect the aggregate demand, but because it's affecting the consumer spending and business investment, so the demand would be decreased. Okay, now we can look at a business cycle. This is the like an example that was included in the notes. This is just so you can see how it's a constant cycle that's constantly repeating that shows the up and downs of the current state of the economy. And then